And whoops-a-daisy, something broke, but we're back.
Hopefully.
Technology is on our side. If not, then I'm going to flip this fucking table. Brett, to finish out your point, throw it back to you.
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying that it seemed like they were kind of introducing a character with Bo-Katan, like who would be involved in the lineage, involved in like the longer term storytelling of the show, potentially set up as like a ally in the short term, but maybe an adversary in the long term.
Yeah, it's first of all, I had no idea she did the voice. So I think I knew because you guys said at the beginning, right before we got into the season, that she was cast as Bo-Katan, and obviously Bo-Katan, sister of Satine, Obi-Wan's lover.
Satine.
Exactly. That's the response I was looking for. Very good. So I wasn't quite sure what to expect with Katie Sackhoff, that portrayal, but good lord, it was seamless. It was like, and again, this is not knowing that she did the voice. So she like came up on screen, kind of like Brett. I think Arjuna and Sahara would sit next to me, and they said I went like,
gasp,
like I gasped because I knew immediately who it was. It was seamless. It was exactly what you would picture. She's still a badass, and like Brett said, her badassery we know from Battlestar Galactica, so it like transitions perfectly into this character.
To answer Brett's question, she will return, as will Timothy Oliphant, Frog Lady, and everyone when they do Avengers Age of Ultron at the end of the season, when the Avengers all have to come together
to defeat
again.
To defeat Gus Fring.
Yes.
The fried chicken man.
I'm actually subscribed for Frog Vision when they just have the Frog Lady and her husband.
So
their own spin-off show.
Frog Vision.
It's going to happen.
So speaking of that, there was a lot of articles that were saying for the actress that plays Cara Dune, which is
Gina Carano.
So obviously Gina Carano recently has said some really stupid things on social media. So a lot of people are saying that just write off the Cara Dune character and replace her with the Frog Lady because it's a much more compelling and interesting dynamic.
Can I be honest?
Go ahead.
About Frog Lady?
When are you not honest, Brett?
I lied when I said I liked all three of you.
Oh, fuck off.
You've never said that.
That's true, actually.
I said it right now. I like all three of you.
That's a bold-faced lie.
And it's a lie. I do not like hanging out with Frog Lady. I do not like hanging out with Frog Lady's husband. I don't like the like, they don't all speak the same language. I hate watching these Muppets like make out with each other. It's very uncomfortable. Like I thought for a second when they were reunited that they were gonna do like a makeout thing, but they're frogs, so their tongues go out like super far. So I don't like seeing them. I don't like watching little tadpoles. Just don't.
Do you, like me, have a phobia of frogs?
No, but I do have a phobia of invertebrate sea creatures, squid, octopi,
really?
etc. So this episode was not hot for me.
Interesting.
When Baby Yoda has his old boy moment at the beginning of the episode, when he gets his little bowl of oatmeal or whatever, like super uncomfortable for me. The end when like the little like starfish, but a little bit more aggro, the starfish was coming and hanging out and trying to squash Baby Yodas, like super uncomfortable. Like I was fine with the guys that were calling the Barbosas for some reason. Like I'm fine with them because they just kind of clearly look like puppet face guys. I'm not a tentacle guy. It's like super. Some people are afraid of spiders. Some people are afraid of snakes. I literally just cannot even look at like an octopus tentacle without just like feeling my skin crawling off. So,
so for your
birthday,
cool,
Rader, not
fan of
tentacle
this plan.
guy. Not tentacle guy.
Not tentacle.
I'm shocked, actually.
That's the quote that we'll put on our Instagram. So be sure to check out our Instagram on Was It Good BTM for a very horrific Photoshop job of Brett and an octopus.
Brett Rader as an octopus.
Cool, yeah. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to all people just sending me photos of the thing that I'm afraid of.
Most afraid of.
Yeah. Looking at. So I'm just trying to be honest. I'm trying to be honest and human here, and I just can't wait. I'm so excited for you guys to turn it into
a meme.
So a pleasure for my pain. So
don't do that to Brett. He's a friend, kind of, not really. So obviously we saw Katie Sackhoff's character. One of the other big character reveals, or actor reveals, or actress reveals, was Sasha Banks, Mercedes Venado, WWE wrestler. She was in the early marketing campaigns where we saw her on this planet, and a lot of people had thought, oh, she's potentially playing Sabine from Star Wars Rebels, which would make sense with the connect with Bo-Katan, Katie Sackhoff's character, and all of that. It's actually revealed in this episode she's playing a brand new Mandalorian that we've not heard of before. Kosoka Reeves is the character's name.
So is that the
Christopher
same?
Reeves.
Kosoka, Koska.
Christopher Reeves.
Is
I
that,
don't think there's a relation to Superman
that we know of.
that we know of.
So
Yet.
In
is
the Mandalorian.
the lady who's under the black cloak? Is that the Mandalorian, or is that a different character completely?
No, that's her.
That is her.
That is
Okay.
Sasha
I
Banks.
thought that's. I
yes.
thought that. I thought that too, but I was like, oh, maybe it's not. Maybe it's actually a different character, even than the Mandalorian. But if they're the same, then that's good. Less confusing, less complicated is good.
But Katie Sackhoff was not the same in the beginning of the episode as she was later. It was her twin, so Kotan.
What the?
Okay, stop
What?
giving misinformation.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to actually say
This
on,
shit
on
is so
Bo-Katan-
confusing enough as it is,
Yeah.
and the fact that every single plot point it comes back to you guys, and you're like, well, actually, in season 3, episode 4 of the Rebel, like, it's like, I don't follow any of that shit.
So
And
get
like,
on
so
the
when
same
one of you
page.
says something like that, I'm like, makes sense. Yeah, of course she's triplets, and they all have different lightsabers. I don't know. Like,
we can say anything in Breath
I
of the Wild.
just-
Yeah.
Can
Well,
I make a
actually,
show
Brett,
that I
they
can
created
understand?
the lightsaber.
Oh my god.
What?
Anyway, Arjuna, start with the misinformation. One of the cool little Easter eggs towards the end of the episode, and Brett, I'm curious to know if you picked up on it, because you've obviously seen the original Star Wars. We actually get to hear when Bo-Katan takes off her helmet the last time before telling the Mando where to go to find a Jedi. We actually hear the same sound clip that Vader, that you hear when Vader takes off his helmet from Return of the Jedi, which I thought was pretty cool. So
What, like the air?
yeah, the
sealing?
air escaping the helmet.
Oh, okay.
Just look at Brett's face. everybody.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm loving
I
it.
didn't.
I love it.
I didn't
could it
catch
just
that at
be that air makes the same sound when people take off their helmets?
That's not how it works, Brett, at all. It's fan service. It makes me happy to hear these things. It
I hate
excites me.
this.
all. It excites only you because I didn't catch it.
I
either.
love the sounds
Brett,
of
we're
Star
about,
Wars.
Brett, I want to
What
ask
the
you a direct
fuck?
question. We're about, 20, 30 minutes into this podcast. How much
Feels
do
so
you
much
hate us
longer.
right now?
On a scale of 1 to 2.
A bunch. Like I really didn't enjoy reading off the DVD names.
yeah,
Chapter
triggered
name.
by that.
he
You
really,
really
Uh,
hated that.
I'm just overwhelmed by like everything that we mentioned everything that happens on the show is like a callback to something that happened in like
Yes.
a deep Star Wars expanded universe novel from like 1994. I don't care. I just want to enjoy the show for literally what is in the text of the show, not is like what is in the like deep text of like something that happened in a deleted scene from Star Wars Clone Wars, the
Brett,
animated
I'll
show.
say this. We never talk about the deleted scenes or the director's commentary. The stuff we always talk about is the same content
Canon.
that is accessible. But bringing it back to more of a, enjoying something for what it is, let's just run around real quick and talk about our favorite parts, because this is something that I
Yeah.
like beyond all the Easter eggs and the throwbacks for fan base, fan service. The one thing that I loved about this was specifically the sequence after he meets the other Mandalorians to when he's back on land. There's a lot of really cool visuals, landscape shots that you could easily screenshot and make really cool posters. They just look visually super cool. The one that stands out the most is when he flies back to the port and he looks out to sea. You can see the Quan. Is it Quan?
The Quarrens.
The Quarren's boat ship explode with the three of them flying up, and you've got that really cool sunset in the back. It just visually looks beautiful. Like what they're doing is so good.
I agree. I thought this episode was really cool visually. Like despite there being just so many tentacles on this planet, I really enjoyed the planet, like the dock, like the part where I mentioned it earlier, the part where he like almost lands and then doesn't stick the final part of the landing, and there's sort of like, is it the ATST or the ATAT that is like, it's almost like a
Fishing it out.
modified version of that
Yeah.
with a crane on the top fishing it out. Like a really good use of some of the imagery and machinery and stuff that we've seen in the Star Wars universe, but put to a different use. We've never seen a port. We've never seen like a port town in Star Wars. And yeah, here it is. They have these little port docking bays, and they have this little crane guy walking around in the ocean,
The
picking up
walker thing.
ships that are some down. They're too dumb to land the normal way.
Or too broken, Brett. They're broken. Or the ship. Was
No,
broken.
it wasn't about that. It was about the ship being dumb.
Real
It
quick,
was about intelligence.
throwing
fine, Brad.
going to our chat here on twitch.tv/wasgood. As always, for listeners, if you want to join in the conversation, we do live stream this on Mondays and Fridays. This is a comment actually for you, Brett. Brett doesn't know about the shows, but knows about Expanded Universe. Suspicious. Interesting.
I don't know about it. I just know that it exists.
Wait, you already know too much.
If you know it exists, you know too much.
yeah.
Christian or Juno, what would you say your favorite parts of the show was?
My favorite part is going to be when the three Bo-Katan and her two lackeys show up on the ship for the first time, and they, it's basically that fight scene with the Quarrens.
Mm-hmm.
I love that because it felt very much to me like the Power Rangers coming in to save the day. Like these three, they're all color coordinated. Their fighting is seamless. Like they've got like these the what do you call it, the rope things coming out of their wrists, and they've got like blades, and obviously their laser weapons and whatnot.
Their
laser
weapons.
Their pew pew weapons.
The pew
right.
pew weapons.
I loved it. And the other thing I really liked about that scene too was the Mandalorian who's like underwater, and then they pull him out, and he's like, "Get the child." He can barely talk, and they don't even hesitate. Like they're like, "Yep, we got it," and they jump right in. They get it. They understand whatever that bond is. So I guess like my question there is, obviously there's some differences between the OG Mandalorians, that's Bo-Katan and her group, and this sect of Mandalorians that Din Djarin would come under, this religious...
The Watch.
The Watch.
Children of the Watch.
Children of the Watch.
So she explains it, in that, quick monologue. Children of the Watch are
religious zealots.
So basically, if you remember, and Brett's gonna get upset with this, but if you remember back to Star Wars Clone Wars, Death Watch was a group that Bo-Katan was a part of, where there was a bald,
Bald fuck.
a bald fuck.
Yep, a bald fuck.
A bald fuck.
I remember him.
Who wanted to go back to the original ways of the Mandalorian, which is, all about self, all about fighting. It's a very kind of extremist type of view on the world, basically closing out, basically just like closing off self and being part of like an army and being, going around just ruling war or whatnot. And that's what his teachings. Because remember, his character Din Djarin was saved during the Clone Wars by the Death Watch. We see that in season 1, the guys in the blue armor, and then obviously
Right, but we saw this. We actually saw these scenes in the flashbacks.
Yeah, exactly. He gets sucked into this thing, and basically through Bo-Katan, and he's being told that he is part of a cult, right?
Right.
But you also have to remember, from his perspective, this is just some random stranger he just met, who claims to be a Mandalorian but is different from his. So I don't know if we all look at it and we think, oh yeah, you're part of a cult, dude. Sorry, bro. Yeah. But he probably thinks that they're just a bunch of fake.
And I think most viewers, like the Brett viewers of the world, right, who watch the show and don't watch some of the other material, would think the same thing. Like, oh, these are Mandalorians, but they don't align with him, and because he's our hero, they are antagonistic towards our hero.
Yeah,
I don't think that they're antagonistic. I don't think that they're antagonistic. Honestly, anyone like. It seems like they're chiller because they take off their helmets. Like, seems like he's not a chill dude.
Right.
The thing that made me think that at least Bo-Katan was potentially lined up to be antagonistic is because she seems quite compelled to be the leader of something and get the black lightsaber, which seems like the thing that the other bad guy wants pretty badly. So just like basic sort of story structure, having seen movies before, just seems like when you have a character that really wants to like very ambitiously wants to be like the king or queen of something and like wants the evil sword. I don't know. Probably seems like they're not going to be like the hero in the
Yeah. No, I get you. And and the way she's portrayed, and sorry, Brett, the way she's portrayed in the animated shows as well, she can totally go either way. I feel like she's very much set up like a neutral character.
Cool. I mean, that's interesting. It's interesting to see a character like that because a lot of the show is like anybody sort of related to Moff Gideon and whatever, and the sort of remnants of the Empire. They're obviously all really bad, and lots of even back in the episode with like the sand dragon at the top of the season, like you have they're the Tusken Raiders, right? Not the Jawas,
right?
The Jawas, the little guys.
Yep.
Like even
they're
them,
the Oakland
it's like,
Raiders.
They're not bad guys, but they're not human. Like they're all wearing masks and shit, so we don't even care when they get eaten by
much like
creatures or whatever. Like, so like, it's interesting to have grayness in here. Like grayness is interesting to me. I wasn't a big fan of The Last Jedi, not for the reasons that like lots of people weren't into it. I wasn't a fan of most of those movies. Well, one thing that I thought was really interesting about The Last Jedi was potentially introducing this grayness of there is no dark side, there is no light side. You're not born from anybody. You're born just from random people. And maybe let's abandon the good. Like towards the end of that movie, Kylo Ren is like, let's fucking walk away from all this shit. I was like, oh shit, this could be an awesome moment. I would have been like so bought in. And then like 20 minutes later in the movie, Kylo Ren doubles down and he's like, we're the dark side, but darker.
Yeah.
Like, I'm interested in gray because
we've already seen
life is gray.
We've already seen light and dark anyway, right? Like the good versus evil is so overplayed. So seeing some gray would be. I
want to see exactly, Krishna. I'm sorry to cut you off. Like,
no, it's all good.
I don't want to see light versus darkness in any fucking movie ever again.
Right.
To be honest, no, for real. You watch movie trailers back when movies existed, and it's like just think of this in your mind every time you watch a movie trailer for the next few years. How many trailers start with like, it's a battle of lightness and darkness that has been waging for thousands of years. And it's like, and that can describe like 8 different kinds of movies and shit. And it's like, it's just super fucking boring to me. I don't want to see like orcs versus not orcs or elves or shit. I didn't watch, I'm not interested in like new Lord of the Rings TV shows coming out. I think that's just super boring. And I do like grayness. And a touch of Earl Grey.
Yeah. And we talked a little bit about this the first couple of weeks. The Mandalorian himself, sure, he skews toward being a quote-unquote good light character because he does do most things. He's taking care of this kid. He helps just about everyone he meets. But I do like there is this sort of streak in him, though, that is a little bit hardcore. For instance, in the first episode of Season 2, that alien that he was trying to get information from, like right in the beginning, he, strung him up, shut out the lights, and then let the creatures eat him, right?
Yeah.
I'm like,
I'm not going to kill you.
Yeah, I'm not going to kill you, but I am going to kill you.
Just like Batman.
That was a sick moment. I like that.
Yeah, it was great. And I'm with you, Brad. I like that the Mandalorian, probably more so than any other Star Wars property that I can think of, on screen that is, has done a good job of bringing in this grayness. It's not good. It's not bad. It's sort of like survival, and you'll do what you have to do to make it work for some of these characters, which is cool. So,
Juna, what would you say, to wrap up our favorite parts? What would you say your favorite part is?
I mean, I think it's probably
the frogs making out.
It's probably come from this podcast. It's the anger that has come from Brett, the uncomfortableness with tentacles. I feel like every time we have Brett on this podcast, we learn something new about him. His hatred for us grows exponentially. So I think we're not even done the podcast, and that
I'm an open book.
that has been that to me has been the most enjoyable thing from this episode, and this was not a bad episode. This is more
No,
the
it's a good
episode has spawned this, which is beautiful.
That is. It's all part of the Star Wars expanded universe
Yes,
that Brett is so fond of.
and Brett is now officially
in the-
canon.
Yeah, no, in one of the novelizations, it like sort of zooms out, from the point of view and reveals that this podcast is happening in the universe, and Brett, children's movie expert, is kind of annoyed by the franchise
That would be
and fans of it, more
a
specifically.
couple other comments here that have come in once again for Brett. Brett, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the game Among Us, but Courtney McNerney says very sus, which means obviously suspect. And then
I'm sus.
Yep, and then another one. What is it? Granite
Granite Armadillo.
Granite Armadillo.
is saying that we need to vote you out. Oh boy, you
Okay,
gotta go out the
fine.
airlock there, buddy.
I can easily not participate in this. If the fans don't like me, that's fine.
No, you're
I think
sus.
they love you.
You're sus,
I
which
think
means
I'm sus.
Yeah.
you're a murderer.
I've never played
basically.
Among Us.
Really?
Should we play it later?
We should. I typically stream every Wednesday on this channel, so I'll send you a code, Brett. You don't have to be on the stream, but you can play the game, and I can try and kill you.
I've never played it.
It's fun. Very fun game. You can
Seems
play
overrated.
on. You can play on your phone
It's overrated.
with
You're
people
just a
on
hipster.
PCs.
You just refuse to play it.
yeah. Just get with it.
I mean,
Get with it. All right.
Ravi still hasn't seen Mad Max.
I
so,
know I'm not a
that's fine.
simp. I know what sus is. For sure.
You're not a simp. What is? What?
Brett, we have a request. Granite Armadillo asks, as a children's movie expert, what are your
Okay.
thoughts? And we'll keep this brief because we still have more on the pod to go. But what are your thoughts on Land Before Time?
I haven't seen those movies since
Since you were a child,
like Clinton's first term.
Wow.
that was what
At
92.
the-
92
90
to 96.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen those movies since I kind of aged out of Land Before Time pretty early. And perhaps maybe I'm not a child's movie expert.
Wait, what?
That you claim to be.
Oh
That
my
you
God.
Claim to be.
Oh. Anyways,
So moving.
Ravi, what was your favorite part?
I already told you it was the landscape shots that we saw
right,
off
right,
the
right,
dock.
right, right.
A couple of theories that I kind of want to touch upon here. Obviously, Bo-Katan is an interesting character. She's obviously weaved within 2 animated shows, now in a live action. I think Brett said it best. She's connected to this Darksaber thing. Chances of us seeing her again in the season, most likely,
High.
very, very high.
98%.
I think and moving into like what she said, last thing she says to Mando, she says, "Hey, you need to. I know a Jedi. The Jedi is Ahsoka Tano." Brett, I want to throw this to you because once again, you don't watch obviously all the animated stuff. When she said, "Go see Ahsoka Tano," obviously you read material articles on Star Wars. Did that mean anything?
No.
to you? Or you went right over your
No.
head.
When you said, obviously, I read material on Star Wars.
Obviously.
Obviously, no.
No,
I
it's
would like
obvious.
to say I do not read anything about Star Wars.
I'm shocked.
Right.
Let's
even
take that back here.
Wait, hold on a second.
I have no idea who any of these people's names.
Wait, what
If
about?
you went and said hadn't said Bo-Katan 15 times in this episode, I would not have known the name of Katie Sackhoff's character. I called Gus Fring. Like I don't know the names of these characters. I know the Mando. I know Baby Yoda. That's it.
And Baby Yoda's not even his
I know,
name.
baby. It's
Yeah.
the child.
It's
And the
great.
Mando's not his name either.
Right, right.
Well, he refers to himself. Well,
Right,
I guess he has not referred to
but
himself.
everywhere he's referred to as the Mandalorian.
yeah, or
by
the
most.
Mando by
Let's-
yeah.
Mondo.
Just not speak. Let's not speak for me here when it comes to. I'm not a big Star Wars fan. I'm into the show. It's fun. I've seen the movies, but I think they're all kind of bad. Like I truly give no shits about Star Wars. Vote me off the island, Granite. Whatever. I'm sus. Stick me out the airlock.
Well, here's the question then.
You know what's sus? Being an adult who watches Star Wars.
If that's sus, then I don't want to be. What's the opposite of sus? Not sus.
Not sus, I guess.
Innocent.
Innocent,
I don't
yeah.
want to be in. Well, never mind. That's weird. So Brett. Well, then the question is this, right? When did you have any kind of reaction? Because obviously this show takes
No.
place after Return of the Jedi, right? And we know at that point. So this is what you probably know, right? Luke Skywalker's around. He's probably training some Jedi. We can make that connection
He's
between.
drinking green tit milk from the walrus on that planet.
Yeah. Oh, it might not be. We're not be quite be there yet in the timeline or whatever. But so, did you have any reaction when she was just like, "Go seek out this Jedi named Ahsoka Tano"? Were you just like, "Yeah, whatever"?
I was just like, I guess that's where we're going in episode 4.
Boom.
I don't know this planet. I don't know the names of any of these people. Sounds good to me. Let's go. See you there next week. Maybe this person will be played by Tilda Swinton. Who could be?
Tilda Swinton. You said
I
that
love
so
Tilda Swinton.
The pronunciation on that name was great.
Well, actually,
So, like,
we do know who's going to be playing that character. It's going to be Zoe.
Rosario Dawson.
Oh, wow.
Zoe?
completely off. I don't know why I got Zoe
It's
from.
gonna be
Death
Zoe
Note?
101 from the Disney Channel.
Great series. I don't even know what that is. What is that?
I don't know.
Children's movie expert. Do you know what that is?
I think Zoe. I think Zoe 101 was actually a Nickelodeon show with Britney Spears' sister Jamie Lynn Spears.
Oh, that's weird.
Maybe you're the
I only
children's
took
movie.
I only took the underclassmen Zoe classes. I only took like Zoe like 10 and Zoe 20. I didn't get to Zoe 101.
That's good. Oh, nice. So that's Ahsoka.
So the other big one mentioned.
Yeah, who is this person who I have to like know about next week?
So
That's
we're
why-
gonna change this into a new segment. It's gonna be called Educating Brett Rader on Star Wars because that's all that matters in life. So
Hey.
Ahsoka Tano, Brett, is a Jedi who was. Are you ready for this one? And let's get the camera full screen on Brett because I want his reaction when I say this. Ahsoka Tano was the Padawan to none other than Anakin Skywalker, the individual that becomes Darth Vader.
I've heard of that guy.
That's the reaction.
That's
I
what
love
I
it.
want. Yeah,
I
that
love
was
it.
great.
Okay, amazing. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't heard of Ahsoka Tano. Like, am I supposed to know who is?
No.
I mean, I don't.
No.
What
Unless you've- yeah,
is
so-
Ahsoka Tano a human? Is Ahsoka Tano a he or a she?
It's a
or a
she.
they?
It's a she.
Or they? I don't
It's a
care.
she. And as Courtney McNerney also points out, she's also boys with Yoda.
Boys.
Yeah. Well, so Ahsoka Tano basically grows up during the Clone Wars. So she was around, obviously, when Anakin and Obi-Wan and all the droids are, doing their thing across the galaxy. She was there, as part of this, the big Jedi army, fighting throughout the galaxy. So she, at this point, would be fairly old. Yes?
She's
Grandmother
Like
age?
Jar Jar Binks.
Kind of like Jar Jar, yeah.
She wouldn't be that old.
No, because she's younger than Jar Jar for sure.
Yeah, so she's
But,
probably in like her 30s. Like she's probably Brett's age, however old Brett is.
Brett, do you care to reveal?
Do not reveal.
53.
You're 53?
Wow, you look great.
Good shit.
He's 53 days old, guys.
He's a clone.
He's a clone.
He's a frog.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I was a frog. I was living in that frog jar.
He was a tadpole
A tadpole.
just a little while ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think this I think Brett's reactions kind of illuminate something that we've talked about before in terms of having these characters from Rebels. And it's even our Twitch title, right? This is kind of like a Mandalorian, Star Wars, Rebels crossover. There's a lot of information in this episode, a lot of supplementary info that you don't necessarily need to understand the show, but I think without knowing certain elements of like who is Ahsoka Tano, who is Bo-Katan, I don't know if you necessarily get the full impact that you're supposed to get with the episode. I think you get some cool things within the show, but I wonder with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni kind of running this show if it's leaning too heavily towards
Rebels.
well, it's it's almost like the Marvel Cinematic Universe problem that they're starting to get into, right? Where you have so many movies and you have so much information, it's impossible for people to keep up with it all. And if you keep referencing stuff, does it become too unwieldy?
I disagree. I think that's the magic of the show is that there are kind of two different shows with the same exact text where you guys watch the show and you're like, Ahsoka Tano, obviously the Padawan to Anakin Skywalker during the Clone Wars, and she must be 35 to 33. And she's trying to find out whatever. And I'm like, and I watch it and I'm like, Cool. I've never heard that name, but I'm probably sure we're going to see that person's planet next week. And I'll learn more about him when we get there. And the show seems to be, if you guys are enjoying the show, equally enjoyable to people of both stripes.
No, I think that is the beauty of it, right? It's entertaining for us hardcore nerds, and then it's entertaining for
The softcore
light
nerds.
core.
for the casual fan, right?
The softcores.
And I think that's important. Like with Timothy Oliphant's character, with Kay Sackhoff's character, we're introduced to these characters. And mind you, I didn't know. Like I consider myself a hardcore Star Wars fan. I didn't know much about Timothy Oliphant's character when I saw that first episode. Obviously, I know who Bo-Katan is, but I enjoy going and reading all the articles and the nerd shit about this stuff. For someone who is a casual fan, I think it's cool that you're able to go and watch this story not knowing any of that stuff, and you're still getting a good, solid, interesting, and compelling story.
And that just speaks to the strength of the show, though, which is that the cinematography is really good. The action stuff, like all the stuff around outside of the plot, is really strong, so that it doesn't rely on its narrative backstory to carry it, right? There's all this other stuff that you can enjoy inside of it, like the prosthetics, the puppet things, the CGI, all that good stuff. It looks really, really good. I was telling them, actually, I was telling Arjuna, actually, I was like, I can't even tell, like, what is CGI. Most of it is CGI, and it looks so good. It's like some of the best special effects I've ever seen, right? And now I'm a casual when it comes to that stuff. I'm not on Ravi's level, where
I just don't
I'll
like this.
magnify
I
it.
don't like the shiny CGI.
Yeah, and there's
I
none.
hate it.
I don't think I haven't seen a single shiny, or extra shiny piece of CGI in the show so far, knock on wood. So yeah, I think that's the strength of the show. Everything around the plot, and it's really tight. It's really good. The production value, I guess.
Yeah. So I think we can all agree that, they're doing a good job with storytelling. That being said, let's
Right.
right.
Are they though?
I don't think.
Yeah.
Hold on,
That's
let's
my
go
opinion.
into our least favorite part section. And Arjuna, I saved this section mostly for you. What would you say, based on this episode and the podcast thereafter, has been your least favorite part so far?
Brett, no, no,
What?
just
What?
kidding, Brett. Just kidding, Brett. No, I think it kind of is the storytelling because I think you guys make good points, and I think a lot of people think that way. But my opinion, granted this is my opinion, which I'm allowed to have.
I think I'm
allowed
about
to have.
agree with you.
I'm allowed to have. I think the story is probably the weakest part of the show. I just the plot and kind of how the show is plotting. You kind of look at the overallness of it. Brett even mentioned it's like monster of the week, this of the week, and it's kind of it's because a lot of the elements are so strong. The cinematography is so strong. The visuals are so strong. The sound mixing and the editing. A lot of those are so strong. The story to me is a glaring weakness, and that was
It is.
my big issue with
Episode 1.
with the episode with the episode 1 of season 2. I thought the dialogue was dog shit. I thought it was awful. And it took for an immersive experience, right? When you watch movies and TV, there's supposed to be some type of immersion into a world of what you're watching, and it took me out. It took me out of enjoying it.
I can help you out one more. We've had 3 of the exact same episodes. Every single episode, the Mandalorian has wanted to do something, and to get that, he has to help somebody else. The first episode, he had to help the town with the crate dragon. Second episode, he had to help Froggy Lady get back to her husband. This episode, he had to help Katie Sackhoff and her merry band of people to get to the next thing. We've had the exact same plot.
It almost feels
in
like
all 3 episodes.
it almost feels like an
And how
old.
many episodes did they do that in season 1?
There was like half
There was the
season.
prison break episode. There was
Yeah.
the episode where he meets the lady soldier character,
Yeah,
and they
and
have
I
to
think that's
defeat the
becoming an
bad
issue.
It's getting
guys.
a little too.
But
It
how-
almost
how,
feels
though,
like
but-
it almost feels like a video game where it's like
Right.
you must do this task so you
Yeah.
can get one
So
of the keys.
what's the alternative then? Like if you
You've been playing Tsushima, haven't you? Arjuna?
if
Yeah,
you guys
maybe.
if you could rewrite it and redo it, how would you do it?
Um,
I give you a base level. You don't have to go like super
yeah,
detailed.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Man,
so get away from the plot, the simple plot line of having to help someone to accomplish something, right? Why does it have to be you have to help someone? What if why can't we have like a murder mystery. What were some other basic plots that you can just throw in?
Just
to
basic.
add in a little bit of variety, right?
Right. There's very little on the wheel that you can reinvent in a show, but even terms of changing it up a little
Just
bit,
a little variety
in terms of story structure and
Right.
and everything. Like it really, like the script is just stamp and print, change the
far.
visuals.
So
you know?
far I would say, but
Yeah.
to me, I don't know. To me, it makes logical sense of complete this to get to the next thing. I mean, real world.
No,
like-
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
To get to basic plot is there's some kind of conflict, and
Right.
you have to do something to get somewhere else. It's set up so far in these first 3 episodes very similarly. So let's change it up a little bit. Let's throw in just something a little different in episode 2, right?
I think adding on to that, there's the fact that the show ultimately has 0 stakes.
Yes.
Spoiler. No one's gonna rip Baby Yoda's head off its body.
Well, hold on. Actually, let's
That is
can't because
not
it's a
gonna
children's
happen
show,
on
right?
this
Well,
show.
let's,
and even
It's
even
a
like
children's
when
movie.
even
So,
like for example, Brett, not to cut you off, sorry, but when the baby fell into the fish thing, right? To your point, there's no sense of like, oh my god, it's gonna die. Even though the thing is crushed, the baby is still fine. There's no damage to the baby, and it's just like,
So
cool.
I mean, we have like you have these core parts of the show where there ultimately isn't much drama. Like Mandalorian's not gonna die in the middle of season 2.
Right.
Like,
And neither is
this
Baby
happens
Yoda.
every episode too, where it's like, Baby Yoda's and the Mando are in a tough spot, but it's only 7 minutes into the episode, and some person off screen who we haven't seen before shoots the bad guy in the back. Oh, cool, gotcha.
Yeah.
Sweet. Would it happen this episode? I feel like it's happened the other few episodes.
Yeah.
This season. So like, when you have this core element of the show that isn't gonna change, sorry, Mando's gonna be the Mando. Baby Yoda's gonna be the Baby Yoda's. Neither of them dying unexpectedly.
Mhm.
Having a repetitive episodic structure, I can imagine people are gonna get annoyed by it. Yeah, to your point, a murder mystery episode. He shows up in a town and like someone's dead. You got to figure out who did it.
Yeah.
There's a court. Maybe there's a court. Maybe have a Law and Order episode.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That'd be
Like,
incredible.
this is a Star Wars universe. It's a big galaxy. We don't have to do every single episode has to be the same sort of, quest style. We can change it up a little bit.
as the chat keeps referring to D&D style.
But sure, that's how they're presenting it. And that's
Right.
not a strength. That's not a strength of the. Like I said, this is Star Wars. It's a big galaxy. We can do different things.
I mean, come on, George Lucas. He made a trilogy of movies, and then he came back with a prequel trilogy, and he's like, you know what people really want after this epic space opera?
Jar Jar.
Trade embargoes.
I was all about the trade embargo as a kid. It was
you
awesome.
weren't. Wait, were you?
I thought it was
Wait,
the coolest.
why did you go into politics then?
I thought
Or
about going.
finances.
I thought about going to politics. I still might. I'm young enough.
Star Wars.
I
made
would
you go into
run.
politics.
I would
You'd
run my
be good.
campaign. I'd run my campaign like the Trade Federation, to be brutally honest, which means blockading. a
or
state.
putting sanctions on
Yeah,
on stuff.
yeah, for no reason, and
What do you
then
mean for no
and then
reason?
blame it on a dark lord.
Oh,
You'd
someone's
be
controlling
good
you.
because
Nice.
you're a lot of people like you, and a lot of people really don't like you.
Yeah. Oh, a couple of funny.
I won't say which.
Funny.
Thanks,
chat.
Brett.
Law and Disorder.
Mondo.
Mando.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That'd be
Or-
great.
Mando gets to a new planet, and there's like some guy, and he's like angrily folding laundry. He's like, "Listen, that's where it was. I don't have to tell you anymore. I have to go to work right now, so you better get out of here."
Yeah. I mean, let's throw it back to some other shows, right? So like Breaking Bad, obviously, great show. There was one episode where the whole episode takes place on Walter White trying to kill a fly.
Yes.
One of
And
the
it was
greatest episodes in
45
television
minutes
history.
of like just comedy and drama because he was losing his damn mind. Like that's the different levels of plot you can hit. We can hit stuff to move the story along. We could also have like some interesting character development.
So here's the thing, though: is a Breaking Bad show, and even that episode to a degree,
a children's movie,
right? Remember,
Sure.
Disney is in it to get
Make
as
toys.
many viewers on it as humanly possible, which means it's
Sure.
For them, it's okay to have the copy print thing. This show is never gonna win an Emmy for best drama. That's never gonna happen.
It was nominated in its first year.
not for
I
best
actually think
not for a drama though.
Yes, it was. It was nominated for best drama.
Oh well,
This
I
year.
sit corrected
Yeah.
by Brett. But did it
It
win?
was nominated.
But did it win?
No, it didn't. Of course, Succession won.
Exactly. Okay.
of course, Succession. Of course.
Succession's fantastic.
It's a freaking Disney Star Wars show. Yes, it is. But that shouldn't be an excuse. In fact, it's a Disney show. They have a lot of money and really bright, creative people behind it. Therefore, I expect more from it because it is a Disney.
I would argue against that. I recently watched a YouTube video where
YouTube boys
I'm
He's
prefacing
gonna
it
get into the lizard people. Thing with
exactly,
the
and I
Clintons.
preface
no.
this statement by saying I watched a
Leave
YouTube video because it's it could mean anything. And the big thing is when Walt Disney took on the company and started buying children's stories like the Pinocchio story, these were horrific stories, and fairy tales, right? But they adapted it to be this cutesy little thing because the end goal is to have as many viewers view it, right? And Star Wars is still the same thing, right? It's supposed to be Baby Yoda, the child, is a cutesy thing to get you to be interested to buy it and all that fun stuff. Our chat is blowing up with a bunch of stuff. It's also super fun to watch.
It's got
fun and
cute
easy,
things,
cute
fighting,
things.
great fan points. So all those things are absolutely. So right before we started this little tangent,
Yes.
I said the strength of the show is all of that stuff. The only negative, the only thing that I think could be a little bit tighter is the story. If you fix the story, it's like one of the top shows of all time, in my opinion, because that's how good the rest of it is. That's my only quibble. I still enjoy the show. I still highly enjoy it.
He said quibble.
Like I said, this is the only show that's ever made me sympathetic to frogs. So that's a huge plus for me.
I do like Mikuma's thing here about Mando, where he's being told basically he's in a cult. It would be kind of if you wanted to adjust and make the story a little bit more interesting or make the character more interesting. If there was a way for us to understand what's going through his head right now,
Yes.
obviously it's very hard when he's got a helmet on and
Right.
we have no facial expressions, so it's going to come through more, I guess, movement and what he says. But
I don't know if Miko Manor joined us a little bit late. The only thing I was saying is that the first 3 episodes of this season have been very similar, as in it's been Mando having to help somebody to get to his next, to get the thing that he wants. So episode 1 was helping Timothy Oliphant defeat the Crate Dragon. Episode 2 was helping Frog Lady get back to her husband. Episode 3 was helping Bo-Katan, so he could...
I got a suggestion.
Yeah?
Mando should go on a game show in the universe of Star Wars.
Oh, wait. That sounds so familiar.
Because it happened in Voltron.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
Voltron,
Legendary
Age of- yeah.
Defenders, they actually get pulled in and go onto a game show.
Yeah, that's
Voltron Bread is another children's show.
Which
Which
good
I'm
job.
very familiar with and know what it is. I know exactly what you're talking about.
But it's a good point, right? Voltron is also a children's show, but that, or not arguably, it does do a better job with plot and having different types of stories and everything kind of wrapped into what it is. But yeah, it's just an opinion, guys. It's just an opinion.
Speaking of opinions, before we get into that age-old question, because we are getting to time, I do want to touch upon a statement that was made on this podcast, and Brett, you said something similar about the child, Baby Yoda, because it's such a cute, innocent thing. Disney would never do anything to harm that character. But gasp! In episode 2, we saw the child eating frog eggs, and the internet, cancel culture specifically, tried to cancel the child.
Wait, is that a real thing? I thought it was.
This is
a joke.
Oh,
a-
yeah, no,
This
the-
is a real thing. Variety put out an article, I believe today, that was pulling a very.
This is not a joke.
This is not a joke.
Oh
There
my
are a
God.
lot of individuals on Twitter specifically, because Twitter is the trash of the internet. It's becoming the new,
New Facebook?
Reddit, which was the new 4chan.
It's a new Facebook.
It's the new trash hole.
Facebook is trash.
Anyway, they were trying to cancel the child, stating that it's disgusting. It's in poor taste on Disney's part, on Star Wars' part. It's inconsiderate to those that are that are trying for kids, and that those things. And then people went on to attack Funko, the company, because Funko has a upcoming Funko Pop toy. of Baby Yoda reaching for the egg canister.
Yeah.
And obviously, the child is trying to eat them and
Wait, I have-
destroy
so
an entire line.
What was their reasoning? What were their arguments?
So their arguments is that it's basically they're making a joke out of a creature potentially causing extinction, genocide and extinction.
Are these people who are arguing vegans?
No, they're a variety of different individuals. They're
So
all over
do
the place.
Do these people eat
Not to
eggs
mention there's
and
a whole,
chickens and
like-
beef?
There's a whole like fetus like abortion stem cells sort of side argument in
Yeah.
there as well,
Yep.
Yeah.
which I'm not wading into. Interestingly enough, nobody had a problem when he was eating the space spiders from the eggs.
That's true.
But had a problem with the frog eggs because we like the frogs. I don't know. I found episode 2, season 2 quite disgusting and not fun. I did not like the spiders. I did not like hanging out with the frog. Whatever. Like, I think it's funny that people are trying to cancel Baby Yoda or whatever, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
whatever. It's
I-
stupid.
yeah, Right. I don't quite get the vitriol. I don't know if that's the right word, but
My whole point to the whole thing is that Disney may not intentionally do any harm to the child on screen, but the action
off screen.
but off screen the audience will
Tear him apart.
destroy him or her
or they already have,
or they're trying to. So I thought that was just an interesting thing. Something else that just got sent to me and to you guys as well. So this episode was directed by Bryce D. Howard.
Yeah.
That awesome opening sequence where they come to the planet Trask, is it? Trask?
I actually have no idea what the name of it is.
Anyway, the water planet, as the Razor Crest is falling through the sky, is very similar to another space pod crashing to Earth, Apollo 13, directed by Ron Howard. It looks like it has been confirmed that Bryce E. Howard, who's the daughter of Ron Howard, it was homage to that sequence. So that's kind of cool. There's actually a side-by-side comparison.
It actually reminds me of the scene where Gary Sinise eats raw frog eggs in Apollo 13.
Oh boy,
Eagle-eyed viewers would have caught that as well.
Oh.
Brett, it's that time where we are gonna run around
Trask.
the room here, and
We're not doing our bold predictions. Okay.
So, Brett, I'm gonna ask you the question first. Was The Mandalorian season 2, episode 3 good?
Yeah.
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 Oh, you
It's innocent.
you look so happy too. I love that.
Me?
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, yeah. and
Because
then
we're
you had,
ra-
like,
it's
you had,
because
like, a
we're
really
wrapping up.
relaxed, like, calming face.
It was good. I mean, I mean, all the episodes are fine. I really I think in terms of like what the show is really good at, and like a really good example of the show is like the Prison Break episode from season 1.
Yeah.
So like, this was kind of more along those lines. Like I did not like hanging out with the frog lady and the space spiders last week. So this week was good.
Nice.
It was a bit of episode like mission of the week and a bit of like further like universe expanding lore to the people like me who haven't like watched every DVD like an animated show from 10 years ago.
Nice. Brett, you get to ask somebody else now.
Arjuna, was it good?
Yeah, it was good. Not great. It was better than the first episode. I had a lot of issues with that one. But I do think this was a solid episode. But I think there are some weaknesses in the show that are starting to show up, and I don't know how I feel about it. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Krishna, was it good?
It was. I highly enjoyed it. Even if the storytelling's getting a little repetitive, I'm okay with that because it's the third episode. I will be a little upset if the next episode is the same thing again. If it's going to be like he comes across somebody and he has to help them to get to the next thing. Like I will be a little. I'm
The
gonna
next,
be like, okay.
the
that's
next
four
episode
straight
is the
episodes.
ship breaks down, and to repair it, he must help someone to repair it.
No, something.
Cool.
Something. A little variety in the plot. It doesn't even have to be much. Just something a little different. That's all. But I enjoyed it. To Ravi's point, the cinematography was great. There was a lot of interesting character development stuff in this. Him learning that he's in a cult is huge. Bo-Katan's a huge thing for the future, and then also going to find Ahsoka the Jedi is massive. So I'm actually very confident that the rest of the season is going to be fantastic.
It wasn't.
Whoa, what was that narrator? Where did it come from? Mr. Narrator? Ravi, was season 2, episode 3 of The Mandalorian good?
It was great. I'm in it. I love Star Wars. I love all the Easter eggs. I love explaining it to those that are not all for the Star Wars expanded canon stuff. The other thing that I really liked too was there was a little bit of change in pace with music, specifically when they're actually going to the carrier. That was nice. Cinematography, like I said, was great. So I thought it was wonderful. It was chef's kiss.
Wow.
Beautiful. Favorite episode of the season so far.
Wow. It was also the shortest.
Yeah, it was like what, Juna?
30.
It was
like
30 minutes.
Yeah.
It was
I know. I did it
short.
right before my 9
It was
a.m.
short.
meeting. I made sure to start right at the like.
So right at 8:30.
Yep. So I had time. So
Oh my
well,
god.
that's gonna do it for us here on the Was It Good podcast. Brett, thank you again for jumping in. As always, it's a treat when you come on. Is there?
I love it. Thank you.
Is there a place where listeners and viewers can find you besides www.internet.com?
Yeah, there's www.computer.com, and you can also follow me on twitter.com/Brett Rader.
Ooh. He's up to like 15,000 followers, I think.
Wow, that's
Not
pretty
quite, but
No.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'll give or take 2 million.
yeah.
Okay.
something like
Again,
that.
you can find us, Was It Good, on Twitter at Was It Good, on Instagram, Was It Good BTM, and as always, on twitch.tv/Was It Good. Our next live stream is going to be this coming Monday. Come join us. We're going to be just talking about some nerd news, some pop culture stuff. Arjuna's he's going to probably talk about his I guess, story with the PlayStation 5, so definitely come check that out.
If
You
it's
are?
here by then,
Exactly. I'm very excited to see what happens.
Is it coming today or not?
We're
I
going to
who
find
knows?
out.
It's probably
Let me
lost in
know
the
what
mail
day it's
forever.
coming so I can hang out and just steal it from your stoop.
Thanks again.
Should I stop recording the pod?
Yeah, if you want to stop running the podcast part.
I don't know how many times I have to repeat this. Miko Matter, I don't know if you're just ignoring what I said. The format, in terms of the conflict, has been the same the first 3 weeks, where to get to his next thing, he has to help someone overcome something, and I'm looking for something a little different. That's what I'm
Agreed.
referring to.
Agreed. And if everyone wants the same thing over and over again, go read a children's book 20 times in a row.
Man.
Hello.
Anyway, I liked it. I thought it was great.
I liked it too. I said I liked it as well.
I don't know.
I
don't know what's wrong with these two yin yang bats, but I liked it. I thought it was great. It was fun. I'm a paladin.
We both said it was good. We have criticisms for the show.
Yeah.
Like do we want to sit here on a podcast and just agree and be like, yeah, it's all great, cool, that's good podcast.
Thank you,
Brett-
Arjuna, for being the only person trying to make this show good.
Yeah.
Was
No
it
one
good?
else has
Wait,
interest.
Brett, was this podcast good to you? Besides,
It
you having
was-
to read the titles that you
Yeah, it was
really wanted
good.
to
Yeah,
kill
I think
yourself over?
no, I think we had a good discussion about about this show, about some of its, about some of its strengths and about some of the obstacles it has set up in its path. Because there is something like repetitive and that people will potentially turn on with this show. Like, I think we're all much smarter viewers than that, but like, you're gonna see it turn where it's gonna be season 5, and they're like, he's just gonna go to another fucking planet and beat like another big old monster.
Oh,
And Yoda's gonna do the same shit. Like, they're gonna have to come up with some other. They're gonna have to come up with some other ideas. I'm very much enjoying the show, but they're like, they are gonna have to change something up and make it fresh. Keep it fresh.
It's formulaic like the Arrowverse. Like, you guys always make fun of me about the Flash and Arrow and stuff. And yes,
And those are terrible shows.
and I recognize that those are bad shows. But The Mandalorian to me is on a path to become a show like that. It's becoming formulaic. Yes, it has better visuals and stuff, but it is very much in that
it's like
same
a high.
vein.
It's like a high class version of
Exactly.
it. It's like
Exactly.
but in the end, like if it's all just like the bones are just like the actual writing of it is just like
Hey, we have some people in our chat that like CW shows.
I did too. No,
so-
I
Lots
did
of
too.
people do.
You know, but I recognize it was a guilty pleasure in terms of like, is it the greatest plot? Is it this? Is it that?
So here's my question,
Blah,
real quick.
blah,
So
blah.
in terms of like formulaic stuff, and like
Mhm.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Like with CW shows, it is a guilty pleasure. What about the weirdos that like The Walking Dead? Because that show's just fucking terrible, and it's about people eating people. So
Well, it's not even.
what's wrong with
It's
people?
not even about people eating
Oh,
people. Like the
people who eat
zombies aren't
people.
even part of the show anymore.
Yeah, aren't they?
Wait, it's like
Did they wipe
oh,
them out?
God.
No, they're still around, but it's
Oh.
more. It's like it's kind of like a nuisance, right? It's like when you have
Like it's like ants or flies.
yeah, it's like when you have killer hornets, I guess, around, and you're like, oh, we got to put up some things and do a couple things, but we'll be okay at the end of the day.
Real quick, Britt, while you're still here, because we didn't get to this section in the pod because we were running a little bit over. Bold predictions. We always ask our guests, what are their bold predictions for the next episode, and then a season-long bold prediction. And they can be as insane as you want. They can be as insane as, hey, why don't we go to the SoFi football stadium and shoot something
Oh
there?
my god.
That's a good idea. My prediction for the next episode is he gets to the planet with whoever, Anakin's, yeah,
Anakin's
and
friend.
Ahsoka's like, "Hey, I'll help you, but there's a monster in a cave over there. I won't help you until you beat him."
No, I think
Uh,
same. Yeah, that's
That's
a good
yeah.
one.
And season long, I think Katie Sackhoff will ultimately be positioned as an antagonist.
Ooh.
I like that a lot.
That. I mean,
I
that
like
would
that a
make
lot.
it to drive back to the idea of like the drama. I mean,
Yeah.
fun
That would be fresh.
fun fact, Brett,
Fresh.
about Bo-Katan. She starts like when you first are introduced to her character, she is bad for all intents and purposes. She actually turns on her own people because she
Oh.
realizes that level of bad is not the bad that she's okay with. If that makes sense. So it's too bad, and she's like, I just want to be okay bad.
Oh, interesting.
Cool.
So she starts out bad. So I think that would be kind of cool. I think for episode 12,
Chapter 12.
chapter 12,
Episode 12. Chapter 12.
chapter 12. Actually, I don't know. I don't have a bold prediction.
Episode. I have one.
Let's hear it.
The ship will break down on the way to Ahsoka's planet.
My guy needs a
and
new
to get the
ship.
parts
Just
that
get
he
a new
needs.
ship. I can't stand it. I just can't stand it with all the drama of like, will this ship make it? I just can't stand it.
Oh man.
Brett, I know what I'm getting you for Christmas. I'm going to get you the Razor Crest.
The Lego set?
No, but I want the broken one.
Yes.
Or he wants the broken
Well,
one.
no, I'm going to
Will
get
it have post-blind Kanan?
No.
Yeah.
I'm going to get him the Razor Crest Lego set and then remove pieces from it and then seal everything back up. So while he's building it,
that would be.
he'll go crazy because he won't have all the
That'd be
pieces.
horrible.
My
I'll punch a hole in
bold
the
prediction is Baby Yoda will finally use his powers next episode.
Well, actually, so they were saying in episode 2 he used his powers to pull the eggs
Oh, he
towards him out of the thing.
He did.
So
Damn. Yeah.
Good old.
Does anyone
the
else have a
child.
prediction?
you have one, Juna?
My prediction will be that there will be plot.
Oh god.
No, my bold prediction is it's going to be a space episode. It's going to all take place in the ship. Like we're not going to get to the planet, Corvus, because I assume he's punched his coordinates in to get to Corvus. But I'm gonna go with the prediction that it will just all be in space.
So
Space.
another quick fun fact here, and while I think that's a good prediction, out of all of the marketing material that we've seen so far in the weeks leading up to this, all of the scenes that we've seen, I believe, in the marketing trailers, we've seen in these 3 episodes now. So anything that we see going forward, we've not ever seen. So
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it
Wait, why did they do that?
I don't know.
They probably hadn't finished editing, or they just gave the trailer editors
house.
just the
first 3.
clips from the first 3.
Or maybe they didn't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe
that's
maybe
part
what's
of it.
happening in the next
A
few
lot-
episodes. Or... Do we know who's playing Sabine?
So here's the so this is the thing.
one's been cast.
Sasha Banks' character, when it was announced that she was in it, and then we saw that image of her on the
Everyone
planet,
just assumed
everyone assumed she was Sabine. So there is no official anything
Oh.
or rumors.
about Sabine.
No.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Part between the season 1, season 2, people
Side
are like,
bet.
Sabine is going to be in it because of
Yeah.
the Darksaber and her relationship to it.
Yeah.
But because of now that we know that Sasha Banks' character is not playing Sabine, then chances are we're not going to see a Sabine, which is fine. I mean, it's one less. Well, now you can
It's
officially.
one less Rebels.
Well, yeah, exactly. Now you can officially say
it's not Rebels.
it's not Rebels. Boom, we did it. It's not Rebels.
because we're missing most of the Rebels.
Yes.
You're right. You're right.
Yes.
You're actually right.
Yep.
Yeah. Is Chopper gonna be in this show? Did we already see Chopper? Is Chopper? A
His
thing?
voice actor directs and is a showrunner, so why not?
Wait. Dave Filoni?
Dave
Filoni?
Filoni does the
Oh,
voice
right.
of Chopper.
I didn't know that.
Brett, Chopper is a robot, a droid,
I
an
don't
actual
care.
droid.
I don't care.
That swears.
I don't care.
Yes, you do. You care.
Dave Filoni played one of the X-wing fighters last week,
Yes, he did.
so he will not be reprising his role as Chopper.
How do you know?
You fool!
Why can't he play 2 characters?
Because it doesn't make sense
Why not?
canonically.
Wait, what? I don't get it.
I don't know. I don't care.
Real quick, as we've got you, Brett, and I know that we were discussing this the other day. The PlayStation 5. Have you not had you were able to get any of the pre-orders yesterday?
I've been refreshing all the sites, bro, for
Damn.
2 days.
Yep.
And that did not get one.
Wow.
I mean, Arjuna got
Trying.
one, but maybe he hasn't gotten one. I guess.
One
When
day,
did you,
it'll
Arjuna,
show
did you
up.
get one yesterday, or did you do the pre-order?
I pre-ordered in September. I got a Best
So you
Buy
got you were
pre-order.
one of the lucky ones. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'll get it eventually. But like,
Jesus.
I don't know if people are gonna get this shit before the new year. Like, it doesn't seem like they have much of a. Doesn't seem like that they have many. Like, I don't know why they just don't take like orders and just like ship them to you when they're made. Like, it's just crazy that they've been. Sony has been preparing this for like years, and they announce it, and like fucking 4,000 people get one, and it's like Apple releases new iPhones, which are incredibly in demand, more expensive, probably harder to produce than this, and like pretty much everyone who wants one kind of gets one. Like, and you know, in
Yeah,
the
but
initial-
Brett, that's now when we're at the iPhone 12 or the 12th iteration or whatever. When the iPhones
Yeah.
were first rolling out, they ran into tons of supplier constraints
Sure.
and issues.
I
No,
have,
that-
I have a theory.
yeah, that makes sense.
I have a theory, and this goes back to a little-known
1952.
system called the Nintendo Wii.
Supply and demand.
A console that was hard to. It was like for a year or 2 years, really hard to just find a Nintendo Wii and get one. Right? It was like the hottest product in demand. No one could get their hands on it. I think there is something with video game systems where it's almost like because it's hard to get, it makes the heart wants what it can't
Scarcity,
get.
yeah.
So it's almost like I think that part of it is intentional. Of we don't have as many units to create more excitement and buzz, and like, oh my god, everyone's got it, I gotta have it. Versus other systems where it's like, oh, okay, well, it's there, I could get it anytime I want. Versus like, no, if I don't get it now, I'm not gonna get it for 2 months. I'm not getting it for 3 months. I gotta get it right now. And it just creates more excitement, and I think that's what you're seeing with the PlayStation 5 right now. I think they played it exactly the way they wanted to play it.
It's weird. This is the first obviously we really got into the console stuff with the N64, the PS2. So about 20 years ago, there was the PS3, the PS4. I remember waiting up and wanting those. The PS5 and like the Xbox One X,
Whatever it's called.
2 Series 3. These are the first 2 consoles where I'm kind of like meh. Like, I'll get it when I get it. I'm not super worried, which is bizarre.
You also have to
Because
remember
you're not a child.
Yeah,
anymore
you're
who-
30 now.
Who play,
31.
You have other things other than video games to occupy your time.
Yeah, armor.
Yeah.
Star
I
Wars
feel the
armor.
opposite. I feel just like, man, I've been stuck at home for 9 months. I'm like, I kind of would like to play on this new toy by Christmas time.
So Brett, you see, is regressing. He's becoming younger.
Oh,
He has that
Yeah.
Benjamin Button disease.
oh boy.
Yeah, I do.
That's why he looks so good at 53.
Courtney McNerdy is saying, I work for Sony and couldn't get one, so I don't want to hear it. There won't be a shortage. Oh, who knows?
No, there won't be a shortage. There won't be a shortage. Like they'll be.
They'll
I
fill
mean,
them
I just might-
eventually.
yeah.
I think they have plenty of consoles. I think it's all a ploy. I honestly do. I think
Question.
it's marketing. It's all marketing.
all
It's
part of
all
the
part. It's all just part of the way to get people excited, get
Are-
hype, all that type of stuff.
Arjuna, I know you already ordered one, so Or I guess, but like you guys already have one. Like, Arjuna, like unless you're gonna put it in your room and not let anyone play it. But you guys think
That's exactly what I'm
you'll
going to
get?
do, Brett.
You guys think you'll get PS5 first or COVID vaccine?
Oh wow. I think PS5 first at this rate.
Jesus, Brett.
I'm
At
going
this
to go
rate-
PlayStation 6 comes out before we get the vaccine.
Wait, you think?
I
wait,
was
you
gonna
think
say-
the PS6 will come out before a vaccine?
No,
Yes.
he's lying.
Oh God,
No,
that's
I'm not
horrifying.
lying. You know how
What?
long it takes for vaccines to come out?
Yeah,
Like-
but they're
Like,
rushing this
prove
shit.
it. Yeah, but it doesn't mean anything.
Arjuna, here's the thing, right? If they come out and say this is a vaccine, guess what? Whether it is an actual vaccine that's the
Stick
way
it in
it's
my butt.
supposed to work.
I'm talking about a vaccine that works.
Stab me in the
How are you
butt
gonna
with the
know?
needle.
How are you gonna know?
want
We're
the
not gonna
If I
know.
don't die from it.
Yeah, well, you're never gonna.
Fauci said that if a vaccine comes out and it's readily available, he'll take it.
Yeah.
So I guess we could wait for Fauci to take it.
Hopefully, we'll be on a
Okay.
Twitch live.
Fauci
Fauci
is sus.
He says, "Get it out the airlock."
Wait, Ravi, we should contact him and have him do his live.
Oh my God! I
On
just
was
thought
it
of a
good?
terrible idea. Or
Was
meme.
the vaccine good?
No, terrible meme is Trump saying he's sus, and then he's like ejected out of the White House, and you can put that out on January 20th.
What the fuck?
The laugh.
What was that?
All right,
Brett
we,
Yeah,
we
if
have
Eric's
to
a phobic.
go.
Well, we gotta get.
we gotta
need-
go.
We need to do our giveaway.
Oh right, our giveaway for those that are still watching. Hold on,
It's
switch
at the
to-
it's at the
switch to-
bottom. It's at
switch
the
to your-
bottom of the.
Switch to your camera.
We are delaying because our crackpot host over here had to go grab the prize. That's right. We're
Well,
all
our
crackpots.
crackhead producer didn't put it in arm's reach.
Well, do I need to wipe your ass too?
Yeah. Anyway, so as you all remember from last week, we put out a tweet and Instagram post where if you tag someone and followed, you would be entered to win this Funko Pop of Quill. We can go over to this camera. Isn't that beautiful? Wow.
Look at that not autofocus
wow,
work.
Wow. Wow. wow.
Guys, I ordered delivery. So
Yeah, thank
get
you,
off
Brett.
the
Get out of here.
stream.
Get out of here, Brett. Goodbye.
Bye,
Bye,
Brett.
Brett.
Brett didn't win it, so it's fine if he leaves.
I did.
What if he wins it?
It'd be awkward.
Give it to a child in need.
See you, Brett.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.
So we already picked a winner out, and the winner.
There's two winners.
There are
right?
two winners. The first winner from Instagram is at Sakantina.
Concon's Cantina.
Con's Cantina.
Oh, that sounds like an official place.
And they're actually a podcast. LOL. Maybe we get them to do a collab. I love these notes, Arjuna. These are great.
I
So-
didn't write that note actually. Our Instagram social media person. wrote
Oh, excellent. Well, they've got one of these coming. And then on the Twitter side, one of our friends, Sean Sullivan, I swear to God, these are not rigged. It is a genuine.
Randomized.
We put the names in the randomizer
Yes.
on the internet on www.internet.com, and we hit the randomize button, and it shoots out the names.
And the winner of this one is going to be Sean Sullivan at Sully Vol. So, I don't know. Do we just wait till we see him to give it in 100 years?
2026.
Oh.
But yeah, so thanks again for everyone that participated. We're going to do another giveaway this coming Monday. Not entirely sure yet what it is. We'll check our
If
goodie
you have
bags.
any suggestions, let us know. If you want us to do PS5s, we won't be doing that.
Because we can't even get one for ourselves.
Anyway, thank you again for watching. Like I said earlier, we'll be back this coming Monday. Until then, be safe and be merry.